Good morning, this is Gabriel Jack, and welcome to BJC Mitzvah Day number 73, part 8. Mitzvah Day keeps your soul on its way. The prohibition to eat Tereifah, dedicated to our holy idea of soldiers and the hostages. May Hashem protect them and release the hostages safe and sound. Let's get right into it. Once again, we'll repeat what we said yesterday at the very end. The lobes of the lung are divided by halacha into three types called una, or unos in plural, and in unita devarda, known in modern times as the caudal lobe, cranial lobes, and intermediate lobe. Chinuch explains the laws of sirchos pertaining to each type of lobe, beginning with the the caudal lobe. These are the places where fibrous adhesions found there render the animal tereifah, according to the rules we have arrived at from analyzing the words of the Gemara, together with the finest commentaries. If the is discovered to have adhered to any place whatsoever within the chest cavity, the animal's tereifah, and it cannot be permitted through examination and declared kosher, except in one case. The exception is the case where the is adhered to the wall of the chest cavity, and there is an injury in that wall, and the entire sircha adhesion stems from the area of the wound. For in this case, we say that the lung should be examined, and if it's not punctured, the animal is declared kosher. And there are some authorities who rule even more leniently and permit the animal in this instance, even without examination. Additionally, there are some authorities who exclude from this rule that any sircha found on the renders the animal tereifah. A case where the the caudal lobe, is adhered to the cranial lobe, adjacent to it, with the sircha extending from the cut of the to the immediate adjacent cut of the against which it lies. Indeed, it is our custom nowadays to permit this type of sircha. There's lots of diagrams, so I do recommend you learning this inside. Certainly not so easy, this mitzvah. I understand, but we're getting through it, getting a nice idea. The laws pertaining to the unita devarda, the intermediate lobe. If the unita devarda, which is on the animal's right side, is discovered to have adhered to any place whatsoever within the chest cavity, the animal's tereifah. The laws pertaining to the the cranial lobe, the unos of the lung are 5 in number, aside from the unita devarda. The animal's right lung contains 3 unos, and its left contains 2 unos. Thus, from the perspective of an observer who examines the lungs for sirchos, 3 of the unos are on the examiner's right side as he faces the animal, when the animal is hanging from its hind legs in the manner that butchers hang it, and 2 of the unos are on his left side. Should he find a sircha, the law is as follows. If 2 of the unos are adhered or attached to each other, and the sircha extends from the cut of one lobe to the cut of the adjacent lobe that lies against it, and likewise, if the unos are adhered to the animal's rib cage in which they naturally lie, and the sircha extends from the back, i.e. the dorsal side, and is attached to both the ribs and the flesh that is between the ribs, and certainly if it is attached only to the flesh but not to the ribs, in all these cases we rule the animal permitted. However, if the sircha develops between the unos, adhering them together in a way that it extends from the cut of one to the outer part of the adjacent or it extends from the outer part of one to the outer part of another and likewise if it stems from the unos and is adhered to the rib cage, but it is fastened only to the bones of the rib cage and not any flesh, and likewise if there is any other place whatsoever in the animal to which the unos are adhered or attached, in all these cases we rule the animal prohibited. We'll learn more tomorrow. We're getting to the home stretch. Lots of information on this mitzvah. If you really want to learn this mitzvah well, learn it in details, and then watch a kosher slaughtering happen, and learn visually from the shochet, from the slaughterer. Thanks for listening. If you appreciate and like these mitzvahs, sponsor one. 36 100 for the gold.